We live? We're live. All right. I guess I'll wait for some people to join in. I don't see anyone. But good morning to anyone who decided to join. This is very ad hoc. I did not plan for doing a stream. I did not announce anything. I just thought yesterday when I went for a run that it has been a while since I did a live stream, and I love to do live streams. I just never scheduled the time to do them. So uh, yeah, I don't know. Felt like I should probably get back on that and try to make myself available for the community and share what I've been working on. Um, so that's the gist of it. That's what I plan or not plan to do right now, pretty much. Um, yeah. So if you're online, if you have joined this stream, let me know what you're up to. What's been new with you, and I'll share what's been new with me, and hopefully we'll explore some stuff. And yeah, um, I want to show you one thing though. There has been a thing that I have been working on, and I'm kind of excited about that, and I feel like it's a pretty cool project that could be interesting for the community. Um, this is Worklog. This is an application that I have built. Probably the smaller window was a little bit better. This is a very small application that I have built, a very simple one. It's a native app built on Electron. You can run it on iOS, not iOS, Mac OS, and probably Windows. I haven't tested yet. And it's an application that you download and you write your work log, basically what you have been up to the current day. I pretty much vibe coded that. Oh, Dennis, hey. I pretty much like tried vibe coding this. I mean vibe coding. It's such a term. I don't know what to think about the term vibe coding. Honestly, it's been used and misused and used again and talked about. It's it's a weird thing. Um, I think I recently read an article discussing the whole vibe coding thing and discussing like what it is and what it is not. I think when people say vibe coding, they sometimes mean whenever they use AI to build something, which I don't think falls into that category all that well. I think vibe coding, at least based on what Mr. Carpathy mentioned, I think I have the tweet somewhere. Carpathy vibe coding. Yeah, new kind of coding I call vibe coding. This is the original tweet. Not sure if you saw that, but this is where this kind of came from. And yeah, coding I call vibe coding, where you fully give in to the vibes, to embrace exponentials and forget that code even exists. Right? You use Composer, Sonnet, you use Super Whisper to dictate what you want, and don't even touch the keyboard or barely even touch it. That's vibe coding. That's what I have in mind when people say vibe coding. What I try to usually do, what I did with this. Oops, I didn't want to completely shut this down. What I meant by this is what I created. Uh, what I meant is I used AI. So first of all, and I can walk you through the process of how that went. First of all, I used Nut. Nut, that new is a project of company that I work for, Replay.io. If you know me and you have been following me for a longer time, then you know that this is something. This is a company I have joined, I have left, and rejoined again. And Replay is really cool. The technology behind Replay is basically a browser that records everything that's happening inside it, and super powerful stuff. Amazing engineering. But with this whole new AI wave, it seemed like building dev tools for manual debugging was a very niche problem that like not that many people wanted to pay for. So the company shifted and tries to use all of that power of the dev tools to build something, build a AI builder that will produce applications that actually work. And since we have that amazing Replay debugging technology, there's a pretty good chance we will be successful in that. So I try to experiment it. I try to build an application pretty much every day with this, and somewhere along these chats, I have created the first version of of what you see here, of this work log. I'm work log. Here we go. Neo-brutalist. Neo-brutalism is my vibe. I like the style, the graphical style of neo-brutalism. Oh, okay. I guess I no longer have access to it. I wanted to show you like where this all started, but this was pretty much gist of it, right? Create a personal work log where I can add what I've been working on each day. Each day has a single record and nothing more. I can search through logs, use Neo-brutalist design and Markdown for the text editor. So I did that. I downloaded the repo, and then I continued in Cursor to basically wrap that application that was generated in Electron, and after that I just tweaked it, and this is how that looks like. It's a personal work log. I can go back, I can go forward to the next day, and it's all pretty much keyboard centered. So what I wanted to do is create a very like quick experience where you can just do everything with your keyboard. So when I hit enter, I start editing. So I did a live stream today, right? And at the end of the day, I meet with my team and I have my notes prepared for what I've been working on. So that's the thing. So when I do Command Enter, it will save that, and that's pretty much it. I can copy the stuff to the clipboard in case I'm joining asynchronously and I want to like just paste the notes. And you can see this, maybe you cannot, but like there's this Command K to show keyboard shortcuts. So when you do Command K, it will show all available keyboard shortcuts. So like jump to today, right? So if you're like scrolling back or going forward or to the previous day, just hit Command T and you're back to the current day. Then you can like go previous next day just with your keyboard. You can see calendar, logs, settings, etc. So calendar is something that I just added yesterday. If you look at it, we have nice little calendar. When I click on, I don't know, July 18th, it will take me there. Command T will take me back to the present day. So you can see sort of an overview of how that looks. There is a very small dot that shows that I have added a log to that day. and I'm going to change that because that dot is pretty much invisible. It's invisible for me. I cannot imagine you are able to see it. So that's no good. Yeah, there are all these features like when you start editing and you hit escape, it'll ask you, hey, you want to save this or not? You can say no, and it will not save it. You can go to settings, set up a dark theme, or choose a folder. And the choose a folder is a interesting thing because everything is stored locally. I honestly, I'm not 100% decided on that, but I thought like, how about I just, like I don't use server, I don't use database, I don't store my notes on a database just because I can. I can just use simple markdown files and store them locally. And that's what this does. Like you can choose a folder of where you want to store your files, and that's where they will live. So everything that I have here is markdown, and it actually supports markdown, right? So when I do a big heading, it will show up as a heading. And I kind of like that. I don't know why. It's just, yeah. The application doesn't do much. Like it's not a super amazing, awesome tool, but I like the fact that I could create a compartment for a certain category of thoughts and just have it there. And that's been it. I'm seriously thinking about like trying to monetize this, like try to sell that. You can let me know if this is something you would use. But I just tried to build something that I liked and something that I wanted to use. And whether there's anyone in the world who's going to use it, I don't know. I just know I'm happy with this. So I thought of like, hey, maybe I could put on a live stream and work on this live. So, as I mentioned, vibe coding, not vibe coding. This is not vibe. This is Cursor. So most of the things that I do nowadays are in Cursor. I've been learning a lot about like how to set up stuff, and it's been awesome. Like there's so much you can do with a tool like this, because I mean it's basically VS Code with a chat. That's where you can start explaining that. But once you like get into all of the options that you actually have with these AI tools, I think you can get like really, really far. Now I'm going to show you a couple of things, but first of all, let's run the local version of the app. So let's do npm run electron dev, and this will open the application. I guess I'll snap it. Look at the icon. I really love the icon. I'm so very happy. I don't know which tool that I have used for that. I think I used ChatGPT to generate that, but then I used Pixelmator to sort of finish off the rest. I wanted to have it in SVG, etc. So yeah. Anyways, so here's the calendar view. I kind of like it, and I don't think I can zoom this in. But yeah, any day where you have a log, it will put a little yellow dot in it. And I'm realizing that the little yellow dot is pretty much invisible. So instead, I'm going to jump over to Cursor and open that component. And I'm not going to use, I don't think I'm going to use AI too much for this. I want to, so here's the logic. I was just looking at it yesterday. Like, all right, if we have a log for that day, we're going to create this span element, and that span is a little yellow dot. I mean, I can make it bigger so that you can see it. Let's put a height and width of 2. And when I save that, go back, you can now see that those dots are there. And yeah, all right, we have dots. Cool. I don't like that. I'm going to remove that. Instead, I want to do something else. Now you can see that Cursor is already trying to suggest stuff. So in a way, Cursor works similarly to Copilot in VS Code, that like tries to extrapolate from your existing file and tries to guess what might be next based on the rest of the file. This is a nice feature, although I usually turn it off for situations where I don't want to, like if I want to edit more code. Actually, I don't know when I turn it off. I sometimes turn it off, sometimes turn it on. Right now is a situation I just deleted a piece of code, and Cursor is trying to put it back in, and maybe expand it. I'm not a fan of that. I don't want that. Instead, what I want to is I want to take a look at this button element. And this button element, you can see there's a lot of different logic in here. It's kind of hard to read at first. I mean, I can already see what's going on here, but there's a lot going on. What I want to do is tap into this condition, right? So we have a class name, so we're going to be adding classes based on different conditions, and we have a condition for has log. So if that current day has a log, I want to do something. Now it has these relative class. By the way, I'm using Tailwind. If you cannot tell, like I love Tailwind. It makes working with CSS much easier, at least for me. I don't know that. I know that's not the case for everyone, but for me, it's been awesome. So I think that relative was there because of the span element. So instead, I'm going to do a background secondary. So if we have a log, we're going to use the yellow background and see what happens. Looks good. So now we can see all of the days where we have a log, but I have lost the track of the current day. So today is 19th, and I still want it to be red. So what do we do? Like we have these conditions. If I just flip them, will this work? Doesn't seem that way. So I guess I need to add another condition, like if it's current day and has a log, then I still want to have that as primary. I want to use the primary background. And since this is already kind of messy, what I try to do in these kind of situations is I grab the code, and in Cursor you can do like a quick edit. So you don't need to like open a whole chat and start chatting. I think that's very useful. But if it's like a very quick edit, I usually do the Command K that popped up. So I'll just do sort of an inline edit. And I don't know why I'm on 3.5 Sonnet. I thought I was on 4, but yeah, whatever. Do auto. Let's do auto. See what happens. But I want to pretty much say that if it's a current day and has a log, I want to use the primary background. And I've been using Super Whisper, the same tool that Karpathy mentioned. So I'll show you. I have a keyboard shortcut for that. It's pretty cool. If the day is a current day and it has a log, I want it to have a primary background. Let's see what happens. We have, if the day is the current day and it has a log, I guess my pronunciation is not that good. I want it to have a, let's do bg primary. And now I let the AI figure out like how to write that condition properly. It has figured something out, and I can see the diff in here, see what's going on. It looks good to me, right? So if we have current day and have log, we'll have primary. If it's current day, we are primary, text white, blah, blah. If it has log and is not current day, then we fall back to background secondary. It feels to me like there's a simpler way of writing this. But I guess I'm going to accept that, save it, and see what happens. And good. Now this is the result I wanted, right? So on days that I have a log, I want it to be yellow, and the current day, I want to be orange or red or whatever this color is, and that's good. All right. So if I now close my calendar, and if I change the theme to white, how will that look? Looks good. Yeah, I like this. I like this. Now, another thing I wanted to add is I have like lots of these keyboard shortcuts, right? You can see the keyboard shortcuts, you can see what they do. And I have this thing where I can jump to previous or next day by command and arrow, right? I'm moving to different days. Now, if I go to calendar view, this doesn't do anything. In fact, it kicks me out of the calendar. And I'm not a big fan of that. I want to, like the same way I can use keyboard shortcuts to navigate through different days, I want that functionality to be available to me in this calendar view, right? So if I do command and arrow, I can go to next year, which is not that useful being in the middle of the year, but I can imagine by the end of the year or beginning of the year, that might be useful. And also I want to use my arrows to go up, down, left, and right. I think that would be cool. Like if I could just go up, down, left, right, whatever. That would be cool. Marge is asking, when you open source your worklog app? I don't know. Like, isn't what I'm doing here an open source? Like you can view it, but I don't have it on my GitHub. I mean, I do have it on my GitHub, but it's a private project. Again, I was thinking, like, I had this idea, like maybe I could try to sell this as a product, something you can download, and I don't know. I have been struggling whether I want to like go with a subscription model or whether I want to go with like a one-time download or do a combination of those two. And I'm not set. I don't know. I don't know if anyone wants it, and I don't know if it's worth to create an application, a whole like landing page for it, buy a domain, and try to sell this. I mean, if it looks like something you would buy, let me know. but that's yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So now I actually want to like do something bigger, right? I want to add keyboard shortcuts. Now, with keyboard shortcuts, I believe like I have this, yeah, there's this menu that has all of my keyboard shortcuts. And there are different kind of components. The whole keyboard shortcuts thing is kind of all over the place. I know it's in the app TSX file. Like there's whole thing with different keyboard shortcuts and conditions on when those keyboard shortcuts should be happening. So now I have I want to do like a condition. So if a if I'm in the calendar view and I put meta key and arrow left, I want to go to previous year. If I'm, yeah, and if I'm not, then I want to do something else. Let's see. All right, so we have previous day, arrow left, arrow right. Okay, and this is all if not editing. Okay, so I think I'm going to copy this calendar overlay shortcut. That's fine. I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to say if we are not editing, and location path name is calendar. Then jump to today. I think we can keep that, but I need to figure out like what to do with this, because selected date, that is basically like the day that I'm on. So if I go to the application, now we have June 19th. If I go to next day, it's going to be June 20th. Can I zoom this in? Oh yeah, cool, I can. I think that makes more sense. But in the calendar view, the selected date is kind of a different thing. So I need to like merge the logic together, and I want to have some navigation shortcuts only for calendar. So I don't know what to do with this. I'm going to comment this out, and look at that. That's also like kind of nice about Cursor. Like if I have commented, I have a couple of conditions here, right? And if I have commented selected date, new date, if it's Cursor suggests me that I can tab to jump to here and pretty much do the same thing. Now he's suggesting that I comment this out. So like pattern recognition for AI is a really good area where it can do cool stuff, right? So it knows that I'm commenting out these set selected date functions, so it's going to suggest me that I do that for all of the rest. And I'm just hitting tab, and that's it. Now we're vibe coding. I mean, I guess Maros, you're right. I need a vibe business analysis. This is one of the things that I have been thinking about lately a lot. Like, so now we have these tools, and for me, it's been amazing because I have been always sort of, I don't know if I can call myself a developer. I did quite a bit of development. I always find myself somewhere in the middle. But if I were to apply for a full stack engineer job or front end developer or even back end developer job, I think I would bomb the interview pretty hard. Like I don't have enough knowledge because it's not my day to day. I do have a good understanding of code, but not good enough that I could like come up with everything on my own. And like I don't know where to place myself in terms of seniority when it comes to development, but I have a feeling that I'm pretty low. I'm somewhere maybe a junior developer, where a junior developer might be. But now that we have these kind of tools, is like the fact that I'm pretty junior matters little less, and the fact that I know how to navigate, how to roughly navigate around code matters more, right? Because I don't have to deal with like syntax and different like React functions and stuff like that, but I still can navigate through the logic, and I can pinpoint like, all right, here's the flaw in the logic. I can see that this like AI hasn't figured this out. A good example of that was yesterday. I was debugging one thing. I was debugging. I'll tell you what it was. Oh yeah, So this dialogue, right? So this dialogue is like when I jump to today, I start editing and I do some changes and then I hit escape. So I have this dialogue. And I don't know if it was when I said yes or when I said no. I think when I hit yes, it actually wouldn't close the model, and I would look into like what's the logic of this application, and I found it right here. We have a dialogue. Here when I saved it, basically like when I hit Y, the save log function would not be called, and I figured that out. Like, all right, yeah, we need to save the log if we want to exit this. So like knowing the logic, knowing like what's connecting to what, I think that's a really good. It feels like a valuable skill to have, and being able to, I don't know, write a very good switch statement or figure out like when to use effect and when to use something else, or like these intricacies of React and everything. I felt like it's no longer a barrier for me. I'm not trying to say I don't need that knowledge. I think generally I should get that knowledge. I should be on a way of getting myself more familiar with the code, but I was able to get further. I would not be able to build this without AI tools. So I'm pretty happy about that. And I'm wondering on the topic of Vibe business analysis, I'm now wondering if this all enables me to, build applications that I wasn't able to build before and actually build a business, like create a bunch of utilities, productivity apps, and stuff I love, stuff I like to tinker with, and try to sell them, or whether we are now entering an era where everybody can build their own app, and that means no one's going to buy them. I don't know. I guess I'm going to find out. Like, at some point, I will try to monetize this. I will try to sell it. See what happens. I'll probably learn something, and then I'll share it with you all. So that's it. Okay, now let's go back into code. So I have added this calendar shortcuts. So these will only work when we are in calendar. And I don't think we actually need this condition because we will never be editing and in calendar, or will we? I don't know. Just going to keep this for a moment so that we don't create some issues for ourselves. But what I want to do is I want to be able in this calendar view to jump to the next year. So set selected year. This is a function that changes the year. So let me go, where is that? We're using use state for that. Okay. So another thing that I have been working on, and I think like that maybe help me avoid some foot guns. I know enough about web applications that when you use when an application handles some sort of state, is really good to use some state manager. Well, oh my gosh, words of wisdom, right? That was such a weird sentence. No, but the thing is, what is it? I have a store. So I'm using ZooStand, which is a store manager, and basically it acts like a box, and everything about the application state is inside the box. So for example, like show dialog, should the dialog be showing or not? That's inside the stored. Show, I don't know, calendar actually not, because calendar I have it's actually a different URL, it's different thing, but like start editing, is editing, true or false, show preview, true or false, right? all of these like different conditions, all of these different states of my applications, of my application is stored inside here. And yeah, that's where all of that lives. So I think as a first step, what I need to do is here I'm using select year use state. Wait, where does, so use state comes from React. What I want to do is I want to move the state of this selected year into store. So now I'm actually going to use Composer, and I'm adding that to the context, and I'm going to drag and drop this store file in the context as well. And I'm going to tell Cursor to instead of use state for selected year and set selected year, move the state management of this into store.ts. So let's see, use state selectors. Yeah, selected year and move this into store.ts. Let's just reference the file directly. And oops, store. Okay, and make it cook. Let's see what happens. And I think this is a task that AI should be pretty good at solving, because I already gave it all of the pointers that it needs, right? So I gave it the store file, I gave it what I want to move, I gave it instructions on like what exactly it is that I want to achieve, and looks pretty good to me, right? And so I have moved this, these actions, this changing year into the store for the reason of this, right? I want to build some keyboard shortcuts here, and in order to call a certain action, I first need to not have it in this component. I need to have that logic in the store component, in the central store, so that I can access it from somewhere, right? The logic is that if I have a component and the whole logic of that component is just inside the component, I think it might be a little bit trickier to access it. But if I use a central store, then like all of the actions, all of the changes of state, I can just do through this central store. So Cursor has implemented this. So let's take a look at the application. I'll open my calendar, and if I go to next year, previous year, that still works. So we haven't broken anything. That's good news. So I'm going to accept that, and I'm going back to my app, and I'll try to implement that, right? So let's go here, previous day, and I'm going to use Command K again. Oh, look, it has figured out from the context, right? Set calendar year, just go to the previous one, and now we can go set calendar year previous plus one. All right, that's pretty cool. So it has figured out what I'm doing. Let's try to see if it actually works. Actually not. Okay, if I'm, yep, that's not working. So if I do command, that's not working. It's still going to jump out of the calendar and move to the next or previous day. That's not what I want. I wanted to move the calendar year. So instead, I think I know where the error might be, because in here we have like, if we're not editing and we are in the calendar, we want to use these shortcuts. But the navigation shortcuts do not have such a condition. So I want to do if location path name is not calendar. So if both of these conditions are true, then that should work. Let's see if that's fixed the problem. So I go to date. Nice. Look, I'm moving through years. Amazing. That's what I wanted. Okay. So we have figured this out. So that's great. Now we have these two functions working. Here we have Windows and Linux. So we might want to do that here as well. Okay. I wonder if never mind. I'm not going to do everything. Wait, that's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. Cool. All right, Cursor is figuring out things for me, so that's great. Okay, so now we have two more shortcuts to, or actually one more shortcut to change, like jump to today. I'm not sure if that's all that useful. I think I'm going to remove that. I don't think I need that in the calendar view. I think this is pretty good already. Like if I'm in a calendar view, I can like pick a date, and now I'm there. And if I do Command T, it will take me back. And when I open calendar view and I want to like go to today, I just hit escape and I'm still on the present day. I'm not sure if I want to like go to calendar and now hit Command T. Oh, that will actually take me to today. So I think that's good. And I know I mentioned that I want to like maybe use my arrows to navigate through calendar, but I'm having second thoughts on this. I don't think that that's something I need. Do you know how to use MATLAB? No, I don't know how to use MATLAB. I never had a need for that. And meow to you as well. Never really had a need for that. So, but being good at math is something that I'm really looking into. Last year I bought a subscription for a page called Brilliant. If you're on YouTube, then you probably know about that, because like Brilliant, because different kind of YouTubers advertise that. It's kind of a nice experience, learned by doing. They have like these goals, 15 minutes a day. It's sort of like a Duolingo for math and programming and computer science and AI and all kinds of like STEM field areas. It's really fun. I just have a hard time to use like to get into habit of doing that every day. So my subscription, I'm burning through my subscription. I'm burning money. I think MATLAB is there as well. It is fun. I'll have to check it out. Anyways, all right. So we have our stuff now. I'm going to commit that. Let's go. We're going to enhance calendar navigation and state management. Very good. Good computer. Git push. It can solve inverse kinematics. Okay. I have to be honest, I don't know what that is. Inverse kinematics. The mathematical process of calculating variable joint parameters needed to place the end of kinematic chain such as a robot manipulator or animation character skeleton in a given position. Oh, so it's like, okay, so inverse kinematics. It's like when one thing moves, another thing should like move in relation to that. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. I would love to learn about all this. MATLAB. Okay. Yeah, thank you for that. Battle saying didn't know about Brilliant. Oh, they have an affiliate program. I guess I should like get into that because I just gave them a new customer. All right. All right. So, what else? I'm pretty happy with like where we are now with this whole thing. To me, it feels kind of complete, and it didn't feel complete for a long time. And but now it does, and I kind of like it. Yeah, the calendar. Yeah, the calendar I enjoy a lot. Like it's one thing. I'm going to add one more thing. So when I hit Command J to open calendar, and then I then have to hit Escape if I want to go back. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to change that, and we are going to like if we are in calendar, and I hit Command J again, then I'm going to close that calendar. Now I don't want to get into conflict with my existing shortcuts, so if location path name escape, yeah, that's we go navigate to calendar, navigate to settings. Where do we have navigate to calendar? Here it is. All right. Okay. Store is editing, navigate to calendar. We don't really have a shortcut in here. Set calendar. Okay, yeah, I'm going to, what am I going to do? Let's go with if, yeah, here we go. Cursor already figured it out. Is it listening to me? I'm not sure. Okay. Set calendar year, set calendar, get full year. Yeah, I don't think yeah, we're going to put it in here. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, all right, I like that. I'll just hit one key to show and hide calendar. I have a search here as well. And I have settings over here. And that's it. That's the whole app. I'm happy with that. I don't know if I want to add any more features. I like it the way it is. I like how it looks. I like how it feels. It's just like so snappy. And well, I'm just using keyboard shortcuts for everything. I don't know what to add. Honestly, I don't know what to do right now. I've been live on this stream for 50 minutes. I'm not sure where to go next. I did start building a landing page for this. And I don't know where to go with that because as I mentioned, like I want to I don't know if I'm not 100% set if on whether I want to sell this. Let's just put another comment. Yeah. Sounds good. I don't know if I want to try to sell this Play with cursor, work log website, yeah. But if I did, like how would I go about that? npm run dev. Will I don't know, will I sell it as a subscription? Will I sell it as something else? I don't know. Let's go here. But here's the here's the first draft of that website. Your work log simplified. Oh yeah, by now. Does it do anything? Did I already finish that? No. But yeah, access denied. Wait, what the hell? I don't know what that was, but yeah. Everything is local. Keyboard first. Track your work in one place. That's the gist of it. That's what I wanted. Wanted this to be, and that's where I got. I guess I can continue working on that. I think I had a. I need to open a new window. Go to work log. Oops, not the full window. But I had a component work log icon. Yeah. Hell yeah. Okay. And I want to create checkout session. Yeah, that's going to happen at some point. But let's just put a work log icon in here. Nope. What's going on? I need to import that, right? Exactly. Hey, here's our icon. Doesn't it look pretty? I like the icon. Is the color the same here? It is. Oh my god. Look at that. Do you see that? Do you see this flaw in the design? Now you cannot unsee it. It's there forever. I have it here. What do I do? Do I fix that? Oh, gosh. I cannot live with this, you know. And it's everywhere. It's in my app. I'm going to fix that. What were you thinking? Like, this is not acceptable. Okay. Like, the whole thing is kind of funky because it's a logo that I have pretty much created using AI, and then I like try to change that into vector, and you can see those vectors are kind of funky. But we have fixed the icon. I wonder, like, there are these spots of like gray areas in here. Why is this, like, if it's vectors, like why does it have that drop off? Yeah, my perfectionism does not like this, but what the hell? What can I do? I have just shown you my whole desktop and it's messy. Anyways, so here we have our icon. I'm going to go here and change this. What did I break? Everything. I have to change these as well because React does not like it when I use dashed things. So I'm just going to fill rule and replace that with fill rule. All right. I'm doing like this repetitive work and because I already know that it needs to be done. And now the icon is fixed. Is it? Yeah, okay. The white spot is not there anymore. Okay, first world problems, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. I'm not sure if I want to, like, what do I want to do here? Icon does not feel like the best way on the landing page. The landing page is also like pretty wide. It probably should be smaller, or at least the design should be like, okay, at some point we need to break it, right? For smaller displays, I guess it looks fine, and for bigger ones, we should have like a container inside there to make sure it's not too wide. But that's, yeah, and that's it. Yeah, I don't have a clear vision for this. I have it's a next page. I wanted to use like stuff. Wait, I hope I'll don't expose my Stripe keys or something. But yeah, this is the feature page. Thank you page. Yeah, this again, like, this was lots of vibe coding. This was like true vibe coding. This was pretty much like, I want a landing page, create that for me. It's a product, it has these features. I want to use Stripe for checkout, and that's like the result of this. And you can tell it's messy. Like, it has the color palette, it has the elements of what I wanted, but it's pretty much unfinished. And again, like, I don't know, should I be buying a domain for this? Worklog.com is taken, so that's out of the window. and I guess I like, maybe I'll put it in a subdomain or something. Yeah. Anyways, I don't feel like finishing yet, but I also feel like maybe this is sort of a one way conversation. I think there's a way for me to show the chat here. I opened StreamYard today, and it had like a, hey, you can now view your chat on your screen. But I don't see that anywhere. I don't see the option to do that. So I'm not exactly sure how can I show what you are all saying. So yeah, but I still like to. I would still like to engage. Like, if you have any questions or anything, I feel like that might be good good spending of time. Oh, show comments on stage. Comments take stage. Okay. Live comments from viewers will appear on screen during the stream. Keep the conversation going and make the audience part of the experience. Okay, good. But like, is it working? Who can tell? I don't know. Yep. Okay, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to I really wanted to check out Playwright MCP. And I did check it out. I just feel like there's more to explore. let's open a project. Which project should I open? Yeah, I think this. Oh yeah, here it is. Yep, I did this npm run dev. Will this be working? Status code 500. What's going on? Can't reach database. Oh, I guess I don't have my Docker running. Yeah, so to give you a little bit of intro on this application, I have an app. It's been sort of a playground for quite some time for me. And it's just a to-do app. It's something that I have created way back, but I haven't really done anything with that for the longest time. It's been just sort of sitting here. Where is it? Zen. Try again. Still nothing. Prisma npm run dev. Will this work now? No, I don't think that will fix it. Oh wait, I still. Yeah, okay, my container is not working. Please make sure your server is running. How do I do that? I should probably know, since it's my own app, right? Post install, Prisma pull, Prisma generate. God knows, like, what's next start? Is that the thing I need? I don't know. Let's do npm install. I totally forgot like how the application works. Oh yeah, so here's Debbie O'Brien from Microsoft LinkedIn post delete. Yeah, I don't know if I can grab this link. This is. Oh gosh, please let me grab my link. This is crazy. StreamYard, what are you doing to me? I wanted to, yeah. Give me a second. I'll try to open that link, but I'm actually opening DevTools to grab the text. Has that ever happened to you? Like you want to grab a text, but you cannot because it's like there's something going on with that, and you just cannot access the thing. Oh gosh, what is going on? This is. Oh, I hate that so much. Like, give me the text of the comment. Even like the HTML structure of that is just wild. Okay, finally, I've been able to extract your comment, extract the link from your comment, and then finally be able to see that. Thank you, Radoslav. A lot of people were asking me for the prompts for my recent demo, so I wrote a blog post about it. Oh, cool. Let's take a look. Letting Playwright MCP explore your site and write your test. Okay. So this is. So given this, given Debbie's from Microsoft, I'm assuming like all of these things are inside VS Code. But it can run MCPs, so that's good. And these are prepared simple prompts. So this is a prompt. This is not a rule. You are a Playwright test generator. I don't know how I feel about like these instructions. Are they necessary? What has been your experience? Like, is it something you need to do? Like, you are a developer, you are a skilled professional in marketing, stuff like that. Do you need those instructions? I never do them. I don't ever include this part in my prompt. I think I heard an interview somewhere. Yeah, it was latent space. Latent space. And somewhere in that interview, and I don't know if I remember that correctly, but yeah, here's a podcast. They do a lot of like very professional talk about AI. I really, really like this page because these guys know what they're talking about. It's really hard nowadays to find people that talk about AI and actually know what they're talking about. Uh, Not really. I don't want to sound dismissive, right? But like, there's been a lot of hype. Everyone's interested. Everyone's sharing their 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 knowledge and their findings, me included, right? And sometimes, what tends to happen, especially in the area that is new like this, is that you have people sharing some findings that really miss the mark, right? They made an assumption, or there was something going on. I don't know what, right? And they share like, "Hey, this is my finding," and you find out it's a complete misunderstanding of how LLMs work, and stuff like that. And that has been like, not only that, and these are like honest people, but then you have like lots of dishonest people that want to make a quick buck or crave the attention on social media, and they're pretty loud, and it's hard to navigate the whole AI space, and it's been hard. So I want to give this tip to you. These guys are legit. You should follow them. And also, the initial thought I had was that I hope I remember correctly, but they had an interview with some people, and they say like this type of instruction, like you are a PhD graduate, and instructions like that, like, don't really matter all that well. I think that was the thing I remember, but we're trying to rely on my memory here, and I'm not saying my memory is at the best shape. So don't quote me on that. Go check out their podcasts. They had a, you know what? I can find the podcast episode. Uh, I think the person was from a company called Learn Prompting. It was really nice, really nice interview. I believe it was. I was listening to it last year, and I probably won't be able to find like the exact the exact quote here. Uh, Learn prompting. We're probably going to find a lot of. Oh wait, the ultimate guide to prompting. Could that be it? Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think this is what I watched. Uh, the full episode. Yeah, this guy. I remember that. Let me let me share that link into the chat. This is what I watched. Zero shot prompting and role prompting. Hey, you know what? Let's watch it. 15-minute mark. By the way, let me know if you hear this sound. Yeah. So that's it. I don't know how well you heard it. I think maybe my microphone actually picked up the sound. I need to figure it out, like how to share the sound. Maybe there's a, yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out later in the future when I'll do a live stream. I'm going to I'm going to take a look at how I can actually effectively test share my sound. But uh, basically, what the guy said, they have tried it like different kind of role prompting, a genius prompt and an idiot prompt, and it seems like the idiot prompt has outperformed the genius prompt. The claim was basically they were trying to test whether role based prompting works, and they're of the opinion that it doesn't work. They put it into experiment that seemed to have proved the thing. So that's kind of stuck in my head, like that anecdote of genius versus idiot, where idiot worked better. That stuck in my head, and that's why I'm not using the role prompting. And that's a very long segue to to the Playwright MCP and this blog that Radoslav sent me. By the way, thank you again. Right. So what is this? Like we're trying to let Playwright MCP explore your site. This post will explore how Playwright MCP in agent mode autonomously navigate your app, discover key functionality, and generate runnable tasks, no manual scripting required. We'll walk through a live demo of generating and running a test against the Movies app, highlighting how the MCP uncovers edge cases, build coverage, and even surfaces bugs you miss. Setting the stage, all right, setting it up. Prepare a simple prompt. So your Playwright test generator, you are given a scenario and you need to generate Playwright tests. 4. Do not generate test code based on the scenario alone. Do not run steps one by one using the tools provided to write MCP. This is also one thing, like do not, like the do not instructions. I have had experience where if I tell LLM to not do anything, it gets confused and it does the thing anyway. I don't know why that is. Maybe it has to. Maybe it's just anecdotal. Maybe it's just something that I have sort of biased myself into thinking. But I felt like giving that additional context of like, do not do this, is just going to confuse it, right? Because LLM is always going to like split the text into tokens anyway. So like it needs to make that connection between do not and the thing it should not be doing. And I don't know, maybe it skips the not part. Hard to say. Anyways, all right. It's a whole alchemy with the prompting, I feel sometimes. One has to explore the website, navigate. Oh, so it is like a rule actually. Save generated test file into test directory, execute the test file, and iterate until the test passes. Okay, so this is interesting. Execute the test file and iterate until the test passes. I think that's I don't know what to think about that, because like if you're going to write a test that is going to be passing. So I think what's assumed here is that right now the application works as intended. But if it doesn't, then you're going to pretty much like create a test that will be green, right? Structure tests properly with descriptive tests, titles and comments. Okay. Here's the Playwright app. Oh, is this live? Oh, nice. Okay, cool. All right. Agent mode, Jesus. Exploration begins. Theme toggling. Okay, it's been kind of cool. All right, yeah, let's try this out. Let's see, where are we? My LinkedIn here. I want to open this. So, oh yeah, I haven't been able to run this thing. Wait, I should probably look into my README. Create. Oh, Docker Compose up. That's what I need to do. Is it running? Maybe. It says it started. I think I need to do this as well. Can't reach database. Why can't you reach the database? Why is that a problem? Yeah, so I have my Docker running. And when I try to start, it just exits immediately. I don't know why. Database directory appears to contain database. Okay, maybe I'll just start over. Nope. That is a problem. I don't remember my own application and how I'm supposed to be running it. Docker Compose, I do have my port here. When I do Docker Compose up, it seems to be running. So it started. And then, and what else? Okay, I guess maybe we can just try the MCP server without the local application. I'm going to just run it like this. We have that. We have that page. So how do I call the MCP server? MCP tools, we have Playwright. What kind of tools we have? Browser, close, navigate. Okay. Okay, let's see what we can do. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Here we go. Can I make it bigger? Open browser and navigate to. Okay, so it figured out that it should be opening browser. Thank you. All right. What else can I do? You are now on popular movies page, which displays, so it like takes notice of the fact that we are on the page. I'm going to hide these comments because they're kind of getting in the way. I wish there would be some way of like placing them on the other side, because I don't know why this. When Meta did the experiment with training bots, it did not tell the bots not to invent their own languages. That went well. I did not hear about that. What was that about? Wait, you may be curious. I know I'm like an ADHD guy right now, like switching context all the time. But like Meta trading bots invent their own languages. Oh, okay. I heard about there was a video of like two AI assistants like booking a room or something, and they switched to like a fake language. But I heard that's not really a thing. Like it was faked. So I don't know what the story here is. Is that a language, or is that something we see and say that it's their language? I don't know. Anyways, so here's our application. All right. Explore the opened application and describe the functionality. Let's try to see what happens. I mean, sure, but like, are you going to actually interact with it? No, it doesn't seem that way. Okay. Trailer. Oh wow, that actually works. This is pretty cool. Kudos to Debbie. I thought it was like a placeholder thing, but this seems to be like integrated. The website, it has IMDb thing. Really, really cool. Upcoming. That thing. Oh. Switch the page. What am I doing? Switch the page into dark theme. Will it do it? No, browser click. Generating. Like it knows it should be using the browser click, but like, is it toggle? It's not a third attempt at the click. Attempts to switch dark theme using the moon button and toggle switch of timeout. Oh no! It doesn't click on it. Why? How do I, can I? Yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay. Would you try, or would you prefer reload the page? Reload the page and try again. Oh, let's go. Cool. Write a test file that will perform the actions you have just performed. Theme toggle. Cool. Get role button name. Cool. Improve the test by actually asserting that the theme is switched. Browser console messages. It actually looks for browser console messages. That's cool. Oh, wait, what? Why are you asking me to run this Playwright CodeGen? I mean, I can run it, but like, what are we doing? It seems like it's doing a lot, like a lot more than I would expect it to do. I just wanted to, so my expectation was that we're going to take a look at this test and we're just going to, you know, like add a assertion on some element that has changed. But it seems like it's done a lot here. But what did it do? Page evaluate, class name to contain dark. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that actually makes sense. I thought it was going to go totally like, yeah, just too much. But this is good. I think like this MCP thing has like a real potential to like uh, substitute the code gen thing, right? Because or maybe there's a combination, right? I think the real power of code gen is that you can like click through the application and pretty much start writing your test with simply exploring the test. Right now, I feel like most of the tools that did that, including like Selenium IDE, Cypress Studio, CodeGen, was that there were no assertions, and also like there was not a whole lot of like good understanding of what's happening on the app. So even though you could create some sort of automated steps, you did not really have a test. And I think like that's not all that good. Like you should just clicking through a page is not a test. You need to make some assertions. And I know that Cypress Studio had that. I think Playwright CodeGen has added that somewhat recently. Maybe we're talking months. I don't remember, but I think they already have that. So that was an important missing piece. But um, but there's like a lot of unknown, a lot of the details that are sort of missing from that whole. There's like a big gap of like this is just test automation. This is just automated bunch of steps versus this is actually a test that tests something. Um, I think this part is pretty nice. Uh, I do like TMCP server. At first, like I didn't really get it because it seemed like it's is more like created more towards the automation and not really testing. But now I see like there's application for testing as well, and I like that. I like the fact that you can generate your tests like that. It's better than CodeGen, I think. Um, but I'm also like what I've been thinking about a lot lately was like where does test automation go in this era of having so much code produced by a press of a button or by a prompt, right? You can have a whole application ready in minutes because LLMs are good at generating code, right? But like, what is the what's stopping it from having tests written as well? Pretty much nothing, right? I mean, if you take a look at what we're building with Nut, right? Let me grab some of the chats that I had. Okay, probably not the best example of what we do. Hey, what's going on? I thought. Okay, there seems to be some problem. We might have an incident, so I'll go back and tell the team. But what I wanted to show you is actually like this part, not the application part, but the chat part, right? You have your prompts, right? Create an email client, and then we have a development plan, and then we have tests, right? We do that. I hear it's still pretty unique, but I can totally see like other tools trying to implement testing into code generation. Where I think where Nut really shines is the ability to run those tests and to get like very rich information from the test. Um, but I see like many hopping on the train of like not generating only the code, but generating also the tests. Now I know that there's this whole thing like don't test your implementation details, because you want to test the behavior. But like with these kind of AI tools, we are starting with behavior. Like the prompt is basically the description of the behavior we want, right? So that can act as a blueprint for those tests you actually want to write at the end. Like, all right, we have a acceptance criteria, we generate the code to cater to that acceptance criteria, and then we're going to generate tests that actually copy the acceptance criteria and validate the code that was generated. I think like that's something that's going to become a reality. And I wonder what like I hate these discussions on like AI is going to take our job and whose job are they going to take. But I think like there are some areas that are going to become either less relevant or maybe are not going to be done as much by hitting your keyboard and typing one by one. And I don't know like what that future will look like, and like what will all of the test automations engineers do? Whether they're going to just be checking whether AI produced better code. I don't think that's what's going to happen. But there's also like this. Yeah, I mean we always wanted to create code and then validate that, right? It's just like now we can do that more faster, and we can kind of do that in one step. Um, I think that's something that's changing. Yeah, TDD AI agent, totally a thing. I think like that's already a thing. If you ask Cursor or if you ask any other LLM tool, like, all right, generate this code, but generate the tests along with it, I think it will do that already. And maybe you can write an agent that will do that even if you don't ask it to. I don't know, but uh, yeah. Then becoming QAs, they will have to validate that AI did a good job. I think that's yeah, Radoslav, that's a really good point. That's why I for the longest time believed like yeah, QA is here to stay because who's going to test that code? Like we as testers will be doing that, right? Or maybe developers will be doing that, or who will be doing that actually? I don't know. Uh, I don't know, but like if you think about development and testing, I I always preached on conferences on wherever I went that development and testing are one thing. Like it goes to the same area, right? It's an example that I was always giving on my talks was like if a developer creates some code in their editor and they open browser and see that code in action, right? What did they suddenly become tester? Well, no, they're still developer, right? And we have these specialized roles, right? The DevOps engineer is still a engineer, developer. Front-end engineers, back-end engineers. We have like these different disciplines. And testing is one of the engineering disciplines, one of the development disciplines. It's just like a specialized role. And I've been criticizing our testing community a lot for like this weird elitism where they don't try to be technical and like try to be analytical, whatever that means. I I honestly don't like that. I think we should be part of development and have a good understanding of what code does and how it's created and what are the mechanisms of how code becomes a functional application. Uh, and I'm not saying like we need to be experts on DevOps or on like every other discipline. I don't think like that's the role of anyone. Like front end engineer does not have to be as good as a front end engineer as their back end engineer, right? And similar to tester, like you're not expected to be a front end developer if you specialize in testing, but also like not knowing and maybe even like proudly ignoring the technical side of things, which I have seen. I don't think that's good, and I also don't think like that's going to do us any good in this AI era. Having a good understanding of what's going on with the code I think is going to be helpful. Like anytime, at any moment, extra knowledge is going to help you. It's not like having an insight into development is going to harm you. Because there's this weird dichotomy, like, well, developers don't test their code, so they need us testers. I I really don't like that sentiment, and I heard it's mentioned so many times. Like, but I don't think that's true. I do understand that, like, having in the shoes of developer, I know that when I'm in development mode, I don't feel like writing tests. Like the workflow application has no tests. It has some tests because I'm not generated those, but I did not feel like testing it because I already have tested everything manually. But I have gone through that, and this whole thing, like, developers need us testers because, like, they're in a different headspace. Uh, is I don't think that's really I don't think that's really valid. And I think that has been one of the arguments of, like, testers not trying to get too deep into development because they might feel like they might lose their perspective. That is BS. That's absolutely not true. And you can try to convince me otherwise. If you have some good arguments, I'll go and have a conversation with you. But I have heard a lot, and there hasn't been a lot of things that have convinced me that this is actually that's this is a danger of testers becoming technical or becoming knowledgeable of code. I don't think that's true. I think you should become knowledgeable of coding, of the whole development discipline, so that you can become a vital part of that. Um, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Oh yeah, Radislav was saying good things. Yeah, understanding code makes you know what issues to look for in particular functions of an app. Yeah, that's that's true. That's and you can still have that testing perspective while being rigorous enough to take a look at patterns, look at potential problems that might occur within the code or within, like when you're testing APIs. Like, okay, so we have this endpoint and this endpoint, and this endpoint accesses this data, and this has this sort of authentication and authorization setup. Like, if I combine those two, will I still only get the data that I'm allowed? I was able to, like, in one of my previous companies, I was actually able to find one of like huge API incidents because of that. No user would actually be able to find that, so we found that early. But we had an endpoint that was, like, opened. Like, once you got through authentication, you were authorized to more than you were allowed, and I was able to find that, and that was because I had that knowledge. I did have that understanding. Like, it would be so hard to just find that through like clicking through and trying to use the application as a user, because there was no pattern in the UI to find that. Uh, there was only a pattern if you try to play with different APIs, and yeah, we've been able to fix that problem, and it would be a huge problem if someone else did. So, uh, yeah, I don't know, like, how how I ended up on this topic. I always seem to come back to this, but yeah, I feel like in the testing community, it's still a thing. So that's why I feel it's worth talking about that. Anyways, I think we might be wrapping up for today. Um, and yeah, this was fun. I think I always felt like I need to do my live streams in the evening. This is me doing live stream in the morning, and I feel like maybe it's a good thing. I'll probably start doing that. And I always end up my stream like, we're going to do this more. Tune in for later, and then 2 months come through and nothing. So hopefully that won't be the case again. We're, we have, like, summer vacation in front of us, so there's going to be a lot of things happening. But hopefully I can keep up the pace. I would love to do this more often because it's fun. Anyways, really happy to have been here, and yeah, see you next time. Bye, everyone.